And at the end of the day, I was happy that the instrument was going to another musician, because if it was going to someone that was like going to go resell it right away, I'd be like probably a little different. Because I know that like the guy was going to go use it. I was like, all right, whatever. Just what do you want?
Yeah. Yeah. There comes a point where you may come to realize that legitimately the person is not just trying to pull a fast one on you and just get like the bottom of the barrel price, and that like the guy is actually making good points, and he's, like he is correct about something being out of tune or the rust underneath your car or whatever it might be. But
Yeah,
you can learn a lesson in negotiation from those guys.
yeah, it's interesting. I recently joined Tinder again, and like I don't really date that much anymore. But I was like looking at the profiles, and my thing is I just assume that everyone's fake and a bot. Like is my first assumption, just because like I don't trust any of those
That's your
online things
first. That's
anymore.
your first assumption.
It's
Is
kind of
you're
my,
in L.A. though? You're in L.A.
yeah. I just don't like. I don't know. I don't trust those things. I feel like a lot of these things are people trying to scam you. My friend actually sent me some of like something where like this guy created one and they were scamming a bunch of MAGA people, like where they were like created a fake bot of a girl and they were like ripping people off. So it happens, man. It's like a thing. So
Well, like a MAGA
uh
girl.
yeah, like a MAGA girl, and they ripped off a bunch of that thing. So that stuff really does happen, but I don't know. I look at it like it is kind of weird. I kind of mindlessly just look at it, but I also look at the marketing things of like behind it too. Like I'm like, how is this person trying to stand out? Are they using their body? Are they saying something in their like comment section or whatever? There's one girl in there that's like, oh, like I'm married and like I, my husband doesn't see me on here or whatever, and I'm doing this behind his back. I was like, what the fuck? Like what?
Well, she's pretty upfront about that,
Yeah,
which also makes it easier to like eventually get traced back to her husband. Because if she's going around saying that, like
yeah.
there might be somebody who sees her on there and is like
Oh, that's
knows who she is, and then she's just advertised that she's doing this behind her husband's back, knows her husband, and then like is like, I'm gonna set this wrong right. Uh, I'm what was Dakota's handle on Twitter? Rights to
rights to wrong or
wrongs
something
to
like
right.
that. Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wrongs to right. Wrongs to right. Yeah, that's a
Yeah, I stay away
that's
from anything
good
like that.
handle.
There's so
Good
many
handle.
people, crazy people in the world now that I'm like, dude, fuck that. I just thought it was interesting that that's their angle. I was like, okay, that's your angle. Nice.
Yeah,
What's going on with what's going on with
man.
LinkedIn? With LinkedIn this week? Got any good shit going?
I was just gonna say, there's some interesting stuff happening with like LinkedIn, Claude. Have you heard about Claude watermarking?
No. Is this something to do with like whether like the thing you were telling me they could tell if it's AI slop or not?
No, that's actually different. Like,
Okay.
so which you know when you start seeing multiple things like this, like as I would consider myself a expert in pattern recognition. Uh,
For sure.
I'm, I'm joking. I'm joking a little bit, but I feel like I do spot patterns pretty well. And like when I see like rollouts of across like, okay, so you saw like Substack introduced that like panagram thing, which is like or Substack is these like a smaller platform than like like LinkedIn and these bigger ones. But it started talking about that panagram AI detector. Then like LinkedIn dropped the seems like AI slop button, and then now there's been this like EU European like AI Act which when I first heard about this Claude watermarking, I was like, oh, so that's a Claude thing. Well, when you look into it deeper, it's actually the EU AI Act. And so it's like these government like regulating bodies, right? They want to like now regulate like AI, which also becomes like regulating content, right? And I think because I do think that my like some AI guys will do their best to sort of like always, no matter what. They can't stand to see anybody like critiquing AI in a negative way. So they'll always say like, no, you don't understand this. It's not actually like they'll try and find any way around admitting that this could potentially be a problem, right? So you might say something like, I'll make a really bold statement. Like I wrote a post about this yesterday. It actually did quite well, and a lot of people, from what I saw, actually seemed to agree with me on this one. It got a ton of reposts, or quite a few reposts. Another weird thing about that too, I noticed, is that all the reposts, like, let me look at this. This isn't a bug, it's a feature. Controlling data was never about targeted ads. I'm not even sure what you mean there, man. Like 15 out of 16 reposts were women.
Interesting.
Just find that interesting that like this particular topic, like so many of the people.
Can you read the post again?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this one, but it was like, so if Claude, and I knew if I was like, when I wrote this, I'm like, this one is probably going to bang because it's kind of controversial, but also very timely. It's like this is happening right now. I'm probably one of the few, or kind of like first people who's looking at it from this particular angle. There'd be a lot of other angles. Some people actually, believe it or not, would probably be like, awesome. Yeah. Mark up that content. I want to know who like generated their content with AI, but they're not looking at the deeper implications of what's really happening here, right? And I once wrote a post about how AI might be like stealing people's vocabulary, not like from a legal standpoint. They're not claiming words. Like AI is not saying, we now own the word leverage. We own the term digital landscape. We own the term synergy, or we own the M dash. No, it's not like that. However, you'll see in this post, later on in this post, I talk about social conditioning, right? So now people don't include certain AI tells in their posts because they don't want to be thought of or labeled as like, this guy's posting AI slop, right? So it's like, it's this, I also describe it as a digital land grab of these like language patterns and stuff.
That is interesting. I can see what
But
you're saying.
done not legally, like it's not like legally, like they don't own the patterns. But if you happen to, even if you did not use AI, use a certain pattern, like something like, I don't know, like, but here's the thing, or something like this, or something that's now being thought of as like AI written, that it might like increase the statistical probability that you wrote your post with AI. And it's like, fuck you. You trained the fucking AI on human writing. And now you're wrapping back around to say, this sounds like AI. You motherfuckers trained it on human writing. And now you're saying this sounds like AI.
Yeah, because the AI is human.
So you see what I mean about
Yeah,
like a digital land grab, like where they're like now claiming this sounds like AI. It's like you guys trained your shit on human writing. So I'll read the post.
that does make a lot of sense. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like you gotta get the like people gotta get the wheels turning on this shit a little bit to understand what could be really going on here, right? It's not just about these big companies don't care about the little man, right? So you gotta like think about where's this really going. Okay, anyway, so it goes. So if Claude and other LLMs, because let's be honest, they're all shaking hands behind closed doors. So even that's a very like loaded hook, right? Like we're trained on human writing and are now introducing watermarking, which to my knowledge is essentially a digital land grab of certain patterns in how words are chosen and put together. What happens if a human naturally uses those same patterns, right? If Claude's watermark is embedded in certain patterns and you happen to use those patterns in your own writing, by the way, this is something that like if you used Claude, right? And you just straight like copy pasted, maybe you even like, well, for sure, if you just copy paste it and you put it into like a Google Doc, it's going to carry that watermark with it over to the Google Doc. That's based off of like almost my understanding is almost like it uses certain sequences now. Like it's going to like basically claim that this sequence is kind of like ours. Like these choices of words is like this is ours, or just statistically this is probably generated with Claude. Like so it's not like they don't have like legal ownership of the say let's say the phrase, but it's like if you stop using a certain phrase because you're like, nah, I know that like this sounds like this is an AI thing. Like I have to avoid this now. Like what happens if they just kind of keep claiming more as time goes on? But I'll continue on, right? Like
I see what you're saying.
is embedded in certain patterns and you happen to use those patterns in your own writing without using AI and you happen to get labeled as Claude generated and then have to switch up the way you write so you don't get labeled as I intentionally made this also like kind of like long-winded in a way. Um, are these companies not essentially stealing people's vocabulary and ability to write freely? Not through copyright or legal ownership, but through social conditioning. That's the part I don't understand. How can Claude watermark human language when it was literally trained on human writing in the first place? We were using
Yes.
these words, combinations, and patterns first. We own it. What am I missing here? Like so many things today, I don't like where this is heading. If you care about the written word at all, buckle your seatbelt, right? So,
It's almost
yeah,
like a circular argument because it's like they're trained on our words and then it comes back our words. So it's like of course it's like
exactly. If you just like were to map this out on a piece of
yeah.
paper, right? And like they're the ones also then creating like the detectors too, right? So if you train it on human writing, push it to the market, people use it, you then label their stuff as like potentially AI, which right now probably it's not a visible problem because I even looked it up and it's like some of one of these like detector solutions had like a 5.4% false positives rate, meaning like you could have like written something yourself and there's a 5.4% chance that even if you didn't use AI, it could label as a false positive that you did actually write it with AI when you didn't. So right now it's 5.4. But if this like changes over time and like everything changes over time, right? We're in the year 2026 right now. What will something like this look like in 2030, 2035, 2040, right? Could they use this in a way to limit the way that people, actual humans, are able to speak? Like, how many words are we going to have left in 10 or 15 years?
I also feel like what is the deal with people shaming people? Like that's also another thing that's interesting. It's like, who are these people that are constantly like, this is AI slap, and we're shaming you or whatever. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
I'll be right there. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that though. Like, what's the deal with like shaming people and shit? It is funny how like we're always trying to be like, oh, this is like AI slop or this is not. But it is interesting too because like there is certain words and patterns, like you said, that are like right away I'd notice. Like one that comes to mind is like I see a lot of people that like the unsung hero or some shit like that. Like not all heroes wear capes. Just something shit like that. That's like they think they're being clever, but it's been used like so many times that it's like so obvious that it's AI. But
Really? Is that like what is that an AI tell now? Like the unsung hero or the not
I
all
just
heroes wear
I yeah
capes?
I just hear I feel like I hear it like unsung heroes. Like I hear say shit like that, and in my mind I like, oh, okay, like that sounds like something that AI wrote or whatever. But the all heroes were capes. I feel like it's kind of similar in that vein or whatever. Or not all heroes were capes, whatever. People just think that they're being clever when I don't know if they have like a cute little piece that they feel like they're trying to, they might add that at the end of their thing to like wrap it up or whatever, like that. But I
Hmm.
don't know, like, how do you feel like if you are using AI though to help you, or how do you do that without like, sounding like a robot? Do you like remove all those phrases, remove all those words, or whatever, or do you just say fuck it and like, because when we're like using the AI, they're faster, and then we're also like just using our human intelligence to remove like made obvious or like
You're breaking up a little bit on my end, but I think I kind of heard what you said there. Um, what I do, what I do, this works, I think, really well for me. Is I find that I can just basically write off the dome, like right off the top of my head, and like on the fly and stuff, and I can pretty much just write the way I speak. And the truth is, like, it's never gonna say it when you do that. It rarely sounds like it's not gonna really sound like AI. So, like, the truth is, even with this Claude watermarking thing, like, I don't really think I'm a person who truly actually needs to worry about this very much right now. But I just know that like nothing ever stays the same. And like, I don't know. I feel like they could really push some boundaries with this. But I don't really like
do that.
actively. Hmm.